this was written before I met you, Lily. No hint of anything in that fact. Sickness is a foreign country. You are lost there. You don't know the language, no matter how many times you've visited before. Nothing is familiar. You're alone, but a different kind of alone than usual, because when you're sick, you don't have yourself. Your own body has turned against you. It is your enemy now, and no one can fight and try to destroy their own body. So you are defenseless. Sickness is an alternate reality, its own existential state. In it you are lost. Lost not only like a mapless, hapless tourist, but in the sense of someone cursed and consigned to hell. There is no hope or salvation for you. You live when you are ill in an underworld that healthy people don't even know the existence of. So there's no one, not even the most loving Orpheus, who can save you. Once a month, you are struck by a mysterious illness which transforms you from an active, busy, dynamic, productive, energetic, lively, cheerful person to a helpless body on fire, sweating, moaning, its eyes closed, lying in bed passively for the fever to burn itself out. So far it has every time, and for this you count yourself lucky. You've never died from this illness. You always recover. Though over the past 3 years, these episodes have extended longer and longer. Originally, they lasted only 2 to 3 days, then 4 or 5, then 6 or 7. And twice in the past 6 months, they have dragged on for 8 or 9 days. You worry now that eventually these attacks of illness will continue for 10, 12, 15 days, occupying half of each month. And after that, 2/3, 3/4, 4/5. And before you know it, you'll be a full-time invalid. Perry says not to think this way. Stop catastrophizing. Easy for him to say. He's not the one trapped in a burning body day after day. Be optimistic, be hopeful, he says, pointing out that so far this year the episodes have averaged out to only 1 week per month. Only, he says. On the calendar magneted to the fridge, you violently blot out with a thick black marker all the days in that particular month that you have been sick, the lost, dead days. Each of these 7 or 9 calendar squares, if they were a frame in one of your comic books or graphic novels, would be an illustration of absolute darkness in the dead of night. At other times, you're more philosophical. Maybe losing 1 week out of 4 isn't so terrible. It almost seems reasonable since you and Perry are in a 25% tax bracket. You're accustomed to paying the Canadian government a quarter of everything you have, so why not be required to pay as well to some higher authority, fate, or some unknown God, a quarter of your life? No one knows what's wrong with you. Not one of the doctors you've consulted has a clue. All 7 of them seem to you as medically insightful as the 7 dwarfs might have been. Thanks to the lack of a clear diagnosis, you can't get a doctor's note from any of them when you're too sick to work. So even though it's only 6 months into the school year, you've already used up all the discretionary vacation days you're entitled to annually. Your boss, Ned, the head of the Fine Arts Department, is fed up with your being sick and warned you last month that if you miss even 1 more class, he's going to cancel your contract and find someone to replace you. I've been more than fair with you, he said. I have to be fair to the students, too. Today is Saturday, your next class is Wednesday, and you have to be well by then. You have to. You can't afford to lose this job. Financially, you and Perry have 2 kids in college and a mortgage, but in another way, too. Having a job means you're normal. This job of yours is a central pillar of the beautifully normal life you have painstakingly constructed. And without it, everything will come crashing down around you like a house of sticks in a storm. What if I'm not okay by Wednesday, you asked Perry anxiously this morning. That's only 4 days away. We'll manage somehow, he said reassuringly, squeezing your hand. But you didn't miss the shadow of doubt behind his eyes.